tits and camera.
Sorry, I had to mess with the lights because I was like, why are my lights so janky looking?
Yeah. Usually I tell DJ about one of the books that I read before I start this whole, like, the whole thing. I'm not going to do that one to you because I read like 5 books because I went to Ocean City on Saturday and did nothing but reading.
I know. Reading and drinking.
Yes, I had 1 margarita, actually. That was it. That's all I drank. Mainly because I kept forgetting about it because I was reading.
That's when you need like the hat with the straws. So you can
Yeah. I could have been living my SpongeBob moment. Oh my god.
He was number 1.
So completely off topic, but like kind of on topic. So I went to the gym the other day and I ran into one of my friends and she was like, "Oh my god, like you look so good, like your face is thin." And it made me laugh because when Mima commented on the fact that I've lost a lot of weight, Pop went, "Of course she's lost a lot of weight. You can tell her face isn't fat anymore."
That's just not nice, Papa.
Like, I know that he didn't mean it in like
he didn't mean it in like a not like an asshole-ish way, but he's like, yeah, of course she's lost weight. Have you seen her face?
Exactly. And I was just like, okay.
It's like, if I wasn't self-conscious before, now I am.
Yeah, I didn't really notice it until I got like my new passport and ID, and I was like, fuck, my face is thinner. Okay. Well, I think this is going to end up being 17, 16, 17, one of the two. I don't remember. I look really white in this right now, and I'm not appreciating that.
Yeah, I look tanner than you.
I know, and that can't happen.
Yeah, because I'm the white one.
I know. I think it's the black lipstick, honestly.
Yeah, it does wash out.
Yeah. I think I gotta save the black lipstick till it's summertime again, and you know, I have a summer tan.
Your last episode that you posted 2 days ago was 15.
Okay, so he has one more. So this will be 17.
I figured I would look at that before, so you weren't like, this is episode, yeah.
Listen, it wouldn't be a shocker if I said the wrong episode. I'm pretty sure I've already said the wrong episode on here. But this is You're Being Too Loud, episode 17. Today, we do not have DJ because he felt like abandoning us. And so we have Char today, who will be, you know, I don't have any traumatizing stories for you today, so that's a plus.
Yay. Okay.
Let's get into it. Okay, so this first story is today I fucked up by asking my wife if she even wants me around. So to back up a bit and explain some background, me and my wife have been having several communication issues and have been having issues in our marriage because of it. We have been in couples counseling and individual therapy to address this and have been trying really hard to work on both of our issues that we were leading to these problems, one of which being the reluctance for her to share her feelings and emotions with me and my tendency to assume the worst of all things. Know with the background out of the way of the situation. What does that even mean?
It's now with the background out of the way of the situation, missing a letter.
Yeah, okay. For the past few weeks, she has been very standoffish and cold with me. One-word answers, not really looking at me at all, and wouldn't stay near me if I sat on the couch next to her. She would move away, being snappy or angry with me constantly. All of these things have been piling up, and I felt myself getting snippy in response and falling back into the habit of assuming the worst and was thinking that she had just given up on working on everything and was tired of me. So in the interest of our marriage of not letting myself spiral and wanting to give us both a chance to clear the air, I sat her down and I said, I feel like you don't even want me here and would be happier if I was just gone, because, well, that is how I was feeling and was hoping to get a bit of reassurance. Well, the response I got was essentially, I don't know if I want you around, and then turned into maybe, and then to her asking if I could leave for a while so she could think. So now I'm sitting in my truck at 11:30 in the Family Dollar parking lot, waiting to for a call that looks more and more like it is going to come to call me home. So there is an update.
Do we want to know the update? Because I don't think she wants him there.
I don't think she wants him there. I'm sorry. Hold on. I got that wrong. It was 9:30 at night. I was doing quick math in my head. It was military time. I don't use military.
21.
I
21 is
know.
9.
I know. I did quick math. Yeah. Anyways, I I don't know if that's gonna work for you, my guy. So the update,
It's not gonna work.
he's not gonna work. So I have no idea if I'm allowed to do updates in this sub, but just in case, I wanted to make a quick post in response to everyone. First, I wanted to say thank you to everyone who reached out either through the comments or DMs I got about this. Most of you meant well, and that was amazing to see. Some of you had great and kind advice coming from a place of healing. Some of you had harsh but fair comments about how I worded it. When I talked to her, that I thought about before we talked, and even more of you had the harsher, but ultimately, again, fair point that self-sacrificing was not a noble cause, and I can't just roll over. And I have set some boundaries because I matter too. And a few of you jumped to some rather wild conclusions, but I didn't exactly give a lot of context, so I understand that. That was all one sentence.
So I guess punctuation isn't a thing.
It's not. To address a bit of that, I honestly wrote this post last night with the intention of no one seeing it and forgetting that the internet is full of real people. So to clarify what some people have asked and expressed comments about, one, my wife and I have been together for almost 9 years and married for 7. We do have 2 small children together, 1-year-old and 2-year-olds. Respectfully, I didn't include this because honestly, I didn't think it being relevant until people started asking questions. Oh, so you're not helping. So you're not doing anything, is what I'm going to assume if she's, after 9 years, done with you and asking you to leave. I know a lot of people were worried about, huh?
So burnout sounds like.
Yeah. I know a lot of people were worried about this, but I know for a fact that she's not having an affair. I mean, we have cameras at the house. We both have access to at any time, so there's no uninvited guests. On top of that, she has routinely asked me to go through her messages and the likes to find things for her, and has never even come close to being secretive. Hell, she's even a terrible liar. She can't so much as keep a birthday present secret, let alone an affair. That part sounds like me. I suck at gift giving because I wouldn't tell the person immediately.
I have to hide this stuff from myself so then I can't see it. Because if I see it, then I'm like, oh, I'll get present.
I literally told you as soon as I got you something for your birthday, like last year, and I was like, this is what I got you here.
I'm not telling you what I'm getting you for Christmas this year. I already told Lonnie what it is, though.
I'm going to be so honest, I haven't even thought about that.
I only thought about it because it popped up on my For You page, and I was like, Taylor.
3, a few people have said I was telling everything and asked what I did to upset her. And to be fair to them, yeah, I didn't go into every transgression of mine, but I also legitimately didn't know what was going on at the time and couldn't tell you what the root of the problem was. So now let me get into what has changed in the past 14-ish hours. I passed out last night after replying to a couple of comments around 10:30 to 11. I woke up at 6 o'clock to a cop knocking on my window to make sure I hadn't OD'd. When I turned on my phone, I was met with an exploding into notifications. My voicemail was full and I had 25 text messages and more than a few missed calls. After starting to listen to the messages, I was met with what started calm and collected, hey, where are you? Are you okay? To gradually more panic and desperate plea to make sure I was okay. So safe to say I did and still do feel like shit for worrying her, and probably should have sent her a message before I passed out and not just have turned off my phone. I sent her a text message saying I was sorry, I had turned off my phone, it was safe and would be home soon. After I got home, she was immediately hugging me and crying. And once we got through the initial, thank God you are okay, then justified anger for making her worry, we sat down together and talked. Before I drove over, hold on. Before I drove over and last night before I passed out, I read a few of your comments. I had done some thinking about it all. I started apologizing for how I approached the situation and for making her worry. And she apologized for making me feel unwanted and for making me feel like I wasn't allowed. Home last night, she said that she never meant I couldn't come home, only that she was asking if I could go for a drive for a bit so she can compose her thoughts, and she couldn't convey that well at all. We talked things out for hours this morning before the kids got up, and we managed to discuss a few things. First, I did set a hard line that I won't leave the house anymore for any argument because all it does is run from the problem and makes me spiral. She agreed with that with no issues and in line with all you said. I agree. I need to stop with the self-sabotaging and sacrificing, and told her I was going to be a lot more upfront with what I needed from her when something was bothering me, so I'm not letting things go for weeks anymore and just hoping they get better. In return, she said that she's going to take a renewed effort, not avoiding me, and to talk about her feelings and not just keeping all of it to herself and making me read her mind. We both agreed that this will be addressed with the therapist as well. Now, as for the crux of what caused everything, according to her, she never meant to actively avoid me, and it wasn't conscious at all. She said that she had been feeling like she was a failure because since we started the therapy, she has been see me making progress and changes and work on everything that has been brought up, and she felt like she's making zero progress and was feeling guilty and scared that she wasn't capable of changing, that she was, in her own words, ruining all of your happiness by holding you hostage. For the record, she okayed me putting all of that in the post. I did talk to her about it, and we looked through a lot of the comments together as we talked. Now, more or less bringing us current, I am sure I will get eaten alive in the comments for this, but I believe her and believe in her. I love her, and I think all of this is worth working on and hanging on to as it stands. I am back home where I will say we're going to try to work to get things back on to normal and communicate and work on things. I'm still going with burnout with this one.
Yeah, I feel like it might be like a mixture of like burnout and then
They might
like
have
maybe
some.
like she might have. There's probably been situations like obviously now he's trying to talk about stuff, but it might be a situation where she's tried to talk about how she felt in the past and he shut her down. So now she's like, okay, well now I'm just not going to talk.
Or even a thing of like he's projecting. I mean, he even said it multiple times in here. He like spirals. So like things of like where she tries to bring something small up to him, and then he brings it into this much bigger thing than what it needs to be because he's spiraling. And then you're sitting there and you're like, well, fuck it. I don't like, what's the point of even talking about this then? I don't want to like argue with you. There's no reason to have like a giant fight over this. Like,
It's like rather than argue, we could just not talk about anything.
no, literally, like that's how the fuck I would be like, okay, peace out. Like,
It's like we're just not going to talk.
well, and then on top of that, she's a year postpartum. That also plays a lot into that. You got postpartum depression. You have what they even state that like your hormones don't actually go back to normal for up to like 2 years.
And it's even longer than that if you breastfeed.
Up to 7 years if you breastfeed. Postpartum can take up to 7 years to fully, like your body to fully heal from. And even then, your entire like chemistry of your body has completely changed. Your literal DNA changes.
I know.
How does it feel to still have John's DNA in you?
Ew, stop. Ew. Actually, technically, I still have Leo's DNA.
DNA in you as well, yeah.
Because your first child, you hold their DNA and it's transmitted to all of your next children.
Can we talk about the people that have kids just to save their other kid? How fucked that is. That makes me so mad. There's two like twin basketball players that
knowingly do that to my child, like only have my kid to possibly save my other kid. So it's like, okay, you're sacrificing one for the other.
Yeah.
No, fuck out here.
Yeah. No. Okay, so top comment on this one is go to okay, wait, never mind. This is old. Go to a friend's house. Yeah, I don't care. That's an old one. So the top comment was go to a friend's house where you can crash or failing that filing a hotel room, go there, text saying that you're going to sleep in X place. Oh, fuck this OP. This person literally said, text her saying that you're going to sleep in X place, then focus on relaxing and trying not to spiral. I don't know what your situation really is, but sitting in a vehicle, holding your breath helps nobody. Tonight is the night to focus on what you need. Have you eaten, had water? Take care of the basic shelters, sustenance first, and then focus on the rest. OP responded, thank you. That's honestly wonderful and kind advice. Then why didn't you text her?
You literally turned off your phone.
Why didn't... Also, I'll be damned if you leave the house and then turn off your phone and don't come home until the next day. And I don't know where you're at. I would file a missing persons report.
I would find him somehow.
You would. I probably could too, but I
would probably be able to find him.
Yeah. When you were, I mean, there's like,
I've found him multiple times.
That's not creepy.
No, Lonnie. I found Lonnie multiple times.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. You could, yeah. No, if it was, if it was Lonnie, I would, there would be people that I would contact before I would contact the police. Because that's yeah. Okay, next one. I'm a single, so this is from Relationship Advice.
Oh, this was always a fucked up one.
I'm a single mom, 35 female, and my boyfriend, 44 male of 8 months, doesn't include my kids in his long-term vision for his life. Am I wasting my time?
Absolutely.
This is my first long-term relationship after an abusive marriage, and I have sole custody of my 3-year-old and my 6-year-old with no visitation to my ex's / father's kids. Kid's father. Sorry, I read that wrong.
I knew what you meant.
My current boyfriend invited me on a romantic getaway for his birthday. No kids, and it was the first time I've ever been away from the kids since birth. It was wonderful. I had mentioned taking the kids on a trip to Florida and asked if he wanted to come, but he said no. We had previously planned a trip with the kids, but he only came for 1 of the 3 days. He lives an hour away and doesn't have any kids of his own. He works from home, and since my youngest is in daycare, my boyfriend will often catch whatever germ the little one picks up from daycare. He uses his germophobia to explain why he doesn't want to see the kids sometimes. Unfortunately, he did get Bella's palsy and double ear infection because of his body isn't used to the little kid germs. We see each other 2 to 3 times a month, and he helps out financially sometimes. He does well with the kids when around them, though understandably he tires out quickly. My question is, am I wasting my time? I'm hoping that he will step into the father role. My kids and I are package deal, and I feel like I am very compatible, but the kids aren't the kids always complicate things.
So absolutely wasting your time, because if he wanted to be around your kids, he wouldn't be actively avoiding them.
Mm-hmm. Or blaming germophobia.
Like, I understand, yeah, they do bring home germs, but the way to get over that is by being around them more, because then your immune system gets built up.
Yeah. Speaking
of someone who has a baby in daycare who used to bring home every germ in the book.
Literally every germ in the book. Like getting out of the house, interacting with people, you know. But on top of that, like, it's been 8 months. If he hasn't really stepped into that role, and then also you're only seeing him 2 to 3 times a month.
And it's like you invite him on a trip with you and your kids.
And he only showed up 1 day.
Well, no, for the Florida trip, he said no.
Yeah.
But the trip, he showed up for 1 of the 3 days. It's like, yeah, no. I feel, but that's like something she needs to like sit down and it's like, okay, well, long term, do you see this being a thing? Because like you like pretty much have to just be straight up. Like, if you don't see this going anywhere,
don't waste my time.
Like,
and sure as hell don't waste my kids' time.
Because it's like if you're introducing your kids to someone, that takes it to a whole different level.
And I don't know when he got introduced to the kids, but as we both come from parents that were divorced, and I mean, differences like Marty was already in your life.
But I mean, my dad had how many girlfriends?
I mean, yeah, that's also very true. But like you don't do that. Like you don't just introduce your kids to like
any bitch that you're fucking.
Anybody. Like my dad,
like anyone
introduced me to Julie. Like I have some issues with how he did things, but he made sure that like before the relationship went any further, that me and her could get along. It doesn't help that she moved in right as I hit puberty. But like my dad made sure that first of all, I was unaware that my dad dated other people before her.
Because there's none of your goddamn motherfucking
It was none of my goddamn business. But when I found that out, I was like, hold up. Who are these friends that we are talking? Who are these women that we are talking about?
Like lady friends? Scandalous.
No, it really was. I mean, but the thing that makes it even funnier is I only found out like 2 years ago.
I mean, you found out about a lot of stuff on the other end not that long ago, too.
That was like almost 5 years ago. Oh, almost 6.
Not know about your mom with a. That was not no 5 years.
That was not no 5 years ago. That was like 3 years ago, and I don't want to think about that one again.
You're thinking about it.
I am. The drama.
This is why your dad didn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
It's like if you're dating someone with kids, especially a single mom who you know the father has no contact with,
doesn't even have like can't even see his kids
for a good fucking reason. Like you're abusive.
Yeah, like you're a piece of shit. You don't deserve to be around your kids.
But like if you know that, how can you be like honestly it's kind of
it's giving stupid. Parent Trap vibes.
It's kind of stupid because you
know
who they are as a person and a parent. Like I'm sorry, I'm a parent first.
Well, even on top of that, you dated somebody with a kid.
Yeah, and I didn't expect myself to come before the kid, and
exactly like the amount of people that I know with kids, it's never a thing of like. I know some single moms and I know, people that are in relationships, but even the people that are in relationships, they're like, yeah, that's my partner, but my kid still comes first. Like my kid relies on me.
Your kid quite literally can't live without you.
Quite literally. So it's dumb to me. I never understand and I see it more in men than I do with women.
I do see it in women too, though.
Oh, no, I do see it in women. I'm just saying I see it more in men. Women, though?
Women, that shit pisses me off on a whole nother level. Because I'm like, bitch, what you not about to do is act like that baby and sitting right there and think you can come before it.
Right? But it's like, and this just goes for like anyone in general. Don't try to date someone if you are not ready to be a parental figure. You do not need to replace this like child's mother or father, but God damn it, you're a fucking adult in their life and you need to act like one.
Like at least you don't have to necessarily like step into a specific role. You can at least be like a positive impact on their life. That's all it is. Like, hey, you might not have like choose to be around them 24/7, especially if it's like every other weekend type thing. But like, you can at least hang out and like games with them for a little bit.
Click,
click, click, click, click, click, click, click, click.
What is that new country artist's name? His wife's name is Bunny.
Are you talking about
He literally talked at this. You know who I'm talking about. I guarantee you there's going to be somebody listening to this screaming at us.
Jelly Roll?
Jelly Roll. So he has a daughter, right? And Bunny, like from what I've gathered, is that like his daughter's like mom isn't really in the picture or anything. And Bunny came into that relationship knowing that like he's a father first, and she came into that like stance of like, I'm just going to be I'm not going to be a parental figure. I'm just going to be a good female role model to this child. And like, if anything, like if she wants it to go any further, then she can. She calls her mom now.
Well, that's how things like when things grow organically and you don't try to like force yourself into it, that's honestly when things are the best, because it's like you developed a really close relationship with the daughter. So then she got to the point where she felt comfortable calling you mom. So it's like, yeah, you didn't actively try to take her mother's place, but you supported her in a way that a mother should. So then she's like, okay, well, my mom's not around, so you're my mom.
No, literally. So the top comment on this is, my gut tells me yes, that you're wasting your time. I get there's distance germs, kids can be exhausting, etc. But him canceling or declining vacations is telling me that as an outsider that he doesn't really want to be involved more than he is now. Additionally, if he wanted to be a stepdad, those little things would be par for the course. They're annoying but come with the territory, whether they are blood or stepkids. I don't think he really wants to take on the role of assisting with raising the small kids. My boyfriend and I have our own kids, but very much ours. I can help, but what does one kid etc need etc mentally? And we haven't been together much longer than you and our primary caregivers to our kids. The major difference here being that we both are parents but still want to be an active part of the other kids' lives. I get the sense your boyfriend wants to date you but not so much your kids. However, you need to discuss this with him in a very open and honest way to get to the bottom of it. Maybe there's something else holding him back. I agree with that, honestly, especially, and I think that it's really great that that's coming from a single parent's perspective, because yeah, I don't know. I don't think that he's I think you need to dump his ass.
1,000%.
Dump him. So this is also coming from relationship advice.
No.
I, 36 male, received pictures supposedly of my wife, 38 female, nude and having sex. She denied it. How do I approach this? I received pictures.
Who the fuck did she piss off? Who did she piss off?
There's an update to this.
Because that's some unhinged shit.
Bro, but with AI now? Yo.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that because that shit's creepy.
It's so creepy. I received pictures, supposedly, of my wife from someone anonymously. The person in the pictures went at great lengths to obscure their faces in some way, but the rest of their body was able to be seen clearly. These pictures are all of some woman performing sex acts on different people. You can see the person's mouth in some, nose in some, but never the eyes or any cement face that would identify her 100%. I recognize the body as much of my wife's. I know her body and I know the curves and shapes. The person has her hair. The person has her unique nose. The little tiny things that you notice on a person after 3 years are present in the picture. When you've been with someone over a period of time, you notice the little things their body does during sex. My wife denies it's her without the face. I can't for sure prove it. Based on the body and the pictures are the based on the body and the pictures are recent. I don't know what to do or how to go about this, but she's not budging on her denial. But again, I know my wife's body. Does she have tattoos? If she got some tattoos, I mean,
The tattoos are the only thing. I'm like, the only way to be able to tell if it would be AI would be hands, because they keep your hands and toes, like hands and feet right.
Have you seen the yoga ones?
No, and I don't want to because the hands and feet are so creepy.
No, with the yoga ones, it's like the head is in the crotch and everything. It's so creepy. It's so creepy. It's so creepy.
I don't.
You know something else?
It's like no face, no case. Honestly. Like, how can you prove that it's her? Like,
I mean, that's true though. I mean, like if you can't see the entire face and like, oh, like but to play devil's advocate, if somebody were to show me a picture like you from like the nose down, I'd be able to recognize you. But also, I've known you for 20 plus years.
28 years for me.
Yeah. Shit. Damn. Okay. 26 for me. But it's like I've known you my literal entire life. So like if somebody were to show me a photo of you, I'd be like, that's Char. With this one, I mean, I'm kind of with you on this one of like, listen, you can't prove it.
And honestly, so there's people out in the world.
There's like
there's how many billion people in the world?
Everyone telling me I look like Bryn.
Because you do.
But that's the thing of like this could easily be a
like
thing of like if
what was that lady's name? What the fuck is that show?
What show? I don't know.
I can't remember the name, hence why I'm Oh. Oh, True Blood. Everyone said I look like Anna Paquin.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, there's always, yes, like that's her unique nose, but there's only so many noses in the fucking world.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so honest. Like this can kind of be one of those things where it's like your wife looks like somebody, and if there's no other, they also said multiple bodies, multiple people. Was she getting a train run on her?
Or it's just pictures from multiple encounters.
But how much time does she have on her hands?
Like, how can you be like, oh, well, these have to be recent? They technically don't have to because revenge porn is a thing.
It is a thing.
Ask Hunter Moore. He knows all about it.
Okay, update. Do you want to hear the top comment first or update first?
Top comment, then update.
Okay, ask where the pic's taken and then Google Maps search that day. If she was there, her map history location might show through it. This, FYI, this is how I discovered my ex-wife's affair. She thought she was really slick until I realized I could find her location history.
That's creepy. If you feel the need to do all that, you don't need to be in a relationship with them.
Wait. You can find somebody's location off of Google Maps now for a day?
I mean, probably if they have the Google Maps app and it like geotags you in those locations, but like I don't use Google Maps. And
I also feel like if you pop up Google to like search a location on something like a restaurant or something.
And I also have my stuff because there's a setting in Apple.
Yeah, I know.
It can turn off the list of where it like lists your like most recent like the places you go all the time. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't need you doing that to me because that feels creepy.
This also just feels, I mean, but like, to be fair, if you feel like you need to do that to like catch someone, you probably shouldn't be in a relationship.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, if you feel the need to go that far Just
Because that's
send it.
that's a little far.
That's like borderline stalker-ish, in my opinion.
Like, don't get me wrong. I went through my ex's phone and like that felt creepy, but like also I found what I needed to find.
So I never had to go through my ex's phone because the girls just always messaged me, or I found it myself.
Or he didn't show up for a court case.
There's
That one was just stupid.
a lot of I'll talk to you about that after.
Okay.
He doesn't
All right.
deserve time on this.
Okay, so update. It's obvious she won't admit to anything. I can't afford a lawyer or a PI. My guy tells me it's her.
Is it wife or girlfriend?
Wife. I mean, it's more likely someone found someone that looks. What's more likely? Someone found someone that looks just like her and had that woman perform sex acts, or it's pictures of her. She keeps saying, I'm not the only person with this, or I'm not the only person with that. But I know the little details of her body. I'm a broken man. I know I haven't been the best husband, but I love her. This is a second marriage, and I thought I finally found a place. I have no place to go, and it was stupid to think anyone would actually want to be with me anyways. Okay, what we're not going to do is self-deprecating at the end of this.
I also feel like whoever is doing this might have it out for him. It might not be a her thing.
It might not be a her. Listen, I read a story or I heard a story. I can't remember. But basically this dude, so what happened was she rejected this guy in college and he ended up marrying her little sister and then had one of his friends act like the friend and the girl had an affair, sent a bunch of messages, like screenshotted messages between the two of them of like meetup times and everything, and like AI images to the husband, and the husband divorced her. Because he was like, I literally have proof. And she was like, I don't know what to tell you, but that's not me. But he had like text messages and then like video evidence because of AI. So, and it was never about the dude, it was about the girl because she rejected him in college.
So he had to ruin her life.
Yeah, and he literally said like, you'll never be happy again.
And this is why women feel more safe in the forest with a bear than a man.
There are only 14 bears attack a year. I will take my chances with a bear.
Yeah. And sometimes they run off if it's a loud noise.
Yeah.
At least like I know I'll be getting attacked because like it's just an angry bear.
I'll be getting attacked because I'm in its territory. There's a justified reason.
It's friend shaped but not friend.
If not friend, then why have friend ears?
They're so fucking cute.
Listen, you know why I would get murdered by a bear? Because I would see a cub and they're so friendly.
They're so fluffy, and the mom would be like, bitch.
And I'd be like, listen, this is gonna hurt.
But I'm just gonna hug you and I'm gonna die after. But
Yep. Listen, it's like when I told Wayne, I will let a baby elephant sit on me. I don't care if it breaks my legs.
Oh, so Callie.
Yeah. Oh my God, Wayne. Yeah, I did let Callie sit on my legs all the time. Oh my God.
The problem is if you don't have thank God we have tattoos. Because ain't no AI gonna be able to recreate every single tattoo perfectly.
Oh, fuck no. It would fuck this shit up so badly.
Especially like this, he took like 4 different pictures and he free drew it. Ain't no way.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Thank God for tattoos.
Yeah, because I ain't gonna get trafficked and I sure as hell ain't gonna get imitated in AI.
And I'm not getting eaten because cannibals don't like the taste of tattooed meat.
No. The more you know. Okay, so this one was originally on Am I the Asshole? Would I be the asshole public? And I got it from Am I the Angel? It's kind of like Am I the Devil?
Right up my alley.
So, am I the asshole for telling my 30 male sister in law, 28 female, she can't comment on how my wife, 30 female, handles her pregnancies until she gets pregnant? Yeah, sure. Let me just police your pregnancy with Leo.
Yeah, police my uterus, please, and see how that works out for you.
I like living.
But like your hormone, fuck that. That's stupid.
I don't like my sister in law. Amy, she's a very judgmental girl who doesn't know when to read the room and gives unsolicited advice. I'm civil since she makes my brother, Frank, 28 male, happy, but that's as much respect as I have for her. Anyway, she has a problem with my wife, Natasha, specifically. My wife keeps herself a lot of the time and has always been introverted. She's been through a lot in her childhood and has by borderline personality disorder things that Amy always comments on, but I always shut it down. When we found out we were pregnant with our first, Amy made comments about how she was worried for the future of her niece or nephew would get with my wife's BPD and end up crazy, which self to say she walked out of there with a black eye from my wife.
As she fucking should.
I wish somebody would. I lowered contact with Amy and told Frank to lay off for a while, which caused a rift between the family, with them taking Amy and Frank's side since they've never really liked my Natasha. I didn't care. I focused on my wife and our son, 6, then our first girl, 4. Both pregnancies were okay, and me and Frank eventually made up, and he could meet my eldest. Come around to the third pregnancy, and this was the worst I've ever seen Natasha. She couldn't walk, barely could breathe, and was in constant pain. I've never felt more useless knowing I couldn't take away her pain. We had daily hospital checkups, which never really got anywhere except new medications. It was really bad. At one point, I broke down crying and begged her to abort since I didn't want to lose her and the kids losing their mom. She refused, and we pushed through and had our last baby girl a couple weeks, 2 months ago. She, of course, has postpartum, and it's not horrible. Mixed with her mental illness, she's been really quiet and looks uninterested in the baby, but she does care. She's just really tired, and I've been doing my best to support her in all 3 of our babies. Last week, we finally allowed visitations with the boundary that Natasha wanted only her and me to hold the baby, which everyone followed while in visit. Sorry.
Solid boundary.
In the visit, Natasha went upstairs to go feed our girl. That's when Amy turned to my mom and complained about Natasha not allowing anyone to bond with the baby and was being dramatic with the whole rule. Mom agreed and told me to talk to her so she can bond with her grandbaby. I shut both of them down by saying she was the mother and it's her final choice. Amy scoffed it and said, if she was a mom, she wouldn't act this dramatic. I got pissed. This girl didn't know half of what my wife went through and had the nerve to call her dramatic. I told her what I said in the title. She's infertile, bro. Bro and her have been trying with no results. Amy bawled her eyes out, screaming at me, and ran out with my brother following her, also calling me an ass. My parents left and told them not to come back till they apologized. Don't think I'm wrong, but they've since cut contact with me again. And my uncle, the one I'm closest to, told me just to apologize so we can move on. I don't think I'm wrong. I haven't told Natasha why it happened, and she doesn't seem to mind them not visiting anymore. Am I the asshole?
Nope.
The mom is a fucking instigator. Fuck her.
The mom is 1,000% an instigator, but how is he supposed to know that she's infertile? Unless if you're not telling them that, how are they supposed to know that? But it's also not your place to be policing another woman's uterus or
how she handles her child.
I'm like, you don't understand the way your brain changes postpartum, especially freshly postpartum. Your brain is like hardwired to perceive everything.
When did Leo get his first shots?
He got a first shot right after he was born. They get one at their 1 month and then one at their 2 months. But I didn't really let anyone around him that didn't have a certain shot until he was 2 months old because they're
They
so
have no
susceptible.
immune system.
And yeah, I let people hold him, but I had like very strict rules on.
I literally wasn't allowed to move off of the couch. Like I
Yeah.
had to sit where I was.
And you also got the vaccine that I wanted you to get, so you couldn't possibly bring anything into him.
Yeah, no, like we all had to get that vaccine.
Well, I didn't. So before, because I already know you're gonna clip this shit. Before anyone tries to come for me, I did not say you have to get that shit. I said you can either get it and
Or you
see him
can't
before
touch my
he's 2
baby.
months old. You can see him before he's 2 months old, or you can wait until after he is fully vaccinated himself and see him then. But you can either see
And
him
that is
now.
your choice as a parent.
Yeah.
I cannot fucking stand the people on the internet that want to like police how somebody's parenting. You don't get that say. You don't get that choice. It's
Did you
not your
push that baby?
goddamn fucking child.
Did you push that baby out of you? No, I didn't think so.
So shut the fuck up.
Like
I
mm,
went and visited Stephanie after she gave birth, like I want to say like 2 weeks after or something like that. I brought her food, is essentially her postpartum gift from me was food. But I brought
best
her
gift.
food. I just stared at the baby. I just stared at him.
Well,
I didn't
it's like
ask to hold him.
They're
I
so
didn't.
little at that
So
point.
little.
And you're just like, I don't myself, when I've been around new babies, I don't want to hold them when they're that small anyways, because
I get scared. I get scared.
It's like it's a porcelain doll.
It is. I held him at Pam's birthday like a month ago ish. And even then when like I first grabbed him, I was like, I am so scared. Like I've held babies since Devin was born. Like, but it's still when they're that little, it's still like you're like,
I
yeah.
birthed one, and I'm still like, I don't want to hold baby because it's so little.
It's so little. No, but like it's a like the sister-in-law is an asshole. And honestly, even with his comment, even if he did know she was infertile, fuck her.
So it's regardless of if he knew or not, it's not her place to judge any. It's not your fucking uterus. You didn't push out the baby. You're not, and you don't understand like until you have a baby and you're literally dealing with how hard your brain chemistry does like a full like 180. It's your brain chemistry completely changes unless you've gone through that. You don't understand how fucking difficult it is. And postpartum depression is like a blanket term because postpartum anxiety is probably what she's going through, not postpartum depression.
It probably is. I
Because
just said
if
it
she
as
has
a blanket term because it
postpartum anxiety is typically what most people suffer from because it's like I'm scared of everything because I don't want anything to hurt my baby.
Yeah. I saw this TikTok where it was like this dad and mom, they weren't new parents, it was like their third kid or something like that. But they were like, dude, I'm not sleeping, I'm not eating, like my brain is just focused on keeping this thing alive. He was like he was like, the first birthday has nothing to do with the child. It is celebrating the fact that you kept this thing that just wants to die alive for a year. He was like, because you cannot convince me that a newborn baby does not just want to die. He was like, they don't think. And
shit.
yeah, he was like, they just eat, sleep, and shit, and you gotta watch them to make sure that what they eat and how long they sleep and what they shit is all correct.
Yeah, because certain poop colors could mean different things.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I'm not a mom, so I don't need to know that yet. But like, I didn't know that. But one thing that I wanted to touch on real quick with this story that really fucking pissed me off is right here it goes. Mom agreed and told me to talk to her so she can bond with her grandbaby. You don't need to bond with the baby right now.
No, the first couple months should be all about the mom bonding with her own baby.
And the dad.
Like
it should be about
It's the
Parents
parents.
bonding with their child. You know when you get a bond with your grandchild? Throughout the rest of their goddamn life. You do not need to hold that baby to bond with that baby.
And if you're being kept from holding the baby, it's obviously for a reason. It's not like they're not trying to do it to like spite you. They're literally doing it because they have a reason.
Listen, I didn't even hold my little brothers when they were born for like a good little bit. I didn't even hold my little brother. There's a picture of me, and I'm gonna have my dad send it to me, of me laying on the couch in his condo with Jaden in between my legs taking a nap while Dad and Julie went to go grocery shopping because they hadn't gone grocery shopping since he had been born. So it was like at that point, like almost a month. And I hadn't held a baby since Devin. I was like 14. I was terrified. So literally, I just laid there and I was like, don't need anything. Please.
Don't do anything that requires me to move.
No, literally, I was like, please don't move. Please don't move. He didn't move. He slept the entire time. They were only gone for about like 40 minutes, but it was like, I was like, don't move. I didn't listen. I loved my little brothers. I didn't want to bond with them. I'm good. I don't want to hold them. I've bonded with them in the past 10 and 8 years that they've been alive. Fuck the
It
one
doesn't.
time that I held Devin, he fell off of a couch.
Yeah, Taylor's not a baby holder.
I'm not a baby holder. I'm not a good baby holder. To be fair, though, Brandon did drop Devin down the stairs, so I'm not that bad.
I'm not gonna talk about that. I just don't. I don't. It's really fucked up. The grandma, to say, because bitch, you've
Fuck
had
off.
babies, and you're just being a thunder cunt.
You're just being an enabler.
Like,
I like that word, thunder cunt.
makes me think of Thundercats. Thundercats. I just don't. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I wish the fuck someone would. I also like the level of mental. I'm not mentally stable to begin with, and you add postpartum
Could you imagine if John's mom came down like right after you gave birth and was like, how dare you? Let me hold my grandchild.
I have to get the fuck out of my house.
Because I know for a damn fact your mom wouldn't do that.
No, my mom would be like, okay, you don't want me to hold him. That's fine. She would be like, I don't understand why, but
she'd be like, listen, I'm going to say something about it, but I'm not going to let me hold him, but I'm going to just be like, I'm going to say something though.
Oh, she's always got something to say.
Always.
That's fucked up. I don't, like, you should be supporting her, not like trying to
tearing her down. Also, to say that, like, okay, so like as somebody that has borderline personality disorder, that shit's not, it's not a mental illness that's genetic.
It's like, okay, yeah, well, you're assuming that she's going to like traumatize her kids by having an episode or something. It's like, okay, well, if she's under active like treatment.
But on top of that, it's one of the few ones that you can actually
manage.
And in some cases, like what, I'm not going to say you can fully heal yourself because you're always going to have trauma, but you can heal much. I haven't had an episode in like almost 3 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like you're like actively like treating whatever, like in therapy, whatnot. It's like, yeah. See, you're saying that she's gonna fuck up her kids, but you're adding to the trauma, which
literally adding to the trauma.
Cause an episode.
You could literally be the thing that triggers her into an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, shut the fuck up.
I fucking hate women that don't
Right.
support women.
We are women about women over here, and I'll punch you in the face if you're not.
Especially no face, no case.
Oh my god. Fuck, I thought I had a title for this, but now it's gonna be no face, no case.
DJ's gonna watch this and be like, what the fuck?
Fuck.
Like, it's why you don't leave us alone.
He's gonna be like, I can never leave these two alone again. Okay. Last story before we do our little bonus one. Am I the asshole for privately asking my friend about the paternity of her children?
Ooh. Why would you go there?
Maybe it was a valid reason. Listen,
I mean, you can have your like inklings, but I feel like coming out and like straight up asking is kind of.
Who knows? Maybe like, okay, so maybe it's something where it's like 2 Black parents and a white baby. Like,
We gonna find out.
if Vanna and TJ had a baby the shade of like Stephanie, I would have some questions.
They ran out of melanin. As many babies as they had, it just the printer stopped printing. Okay, that's happened.
Okay.
That has happened.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, literally watched like a group. It's like 6 siblings, and they gradually get lighter.
Me and my siblings. Jacob is blonde haired.
Well, I mean, you seen his mom?
Yes. Okay. Saw another post that reminded me of this situation. A few years ago, my close childhood friend gave birth to triplets. Her husband is a light Black man of 3. Of 3, 2 were the same skin tone as her husband, and the third was a much darker. The skin tones made me a little suspicious that her husband might not be the father. I pulled her aside and privately asked her seriously if her husband was the father. She didn't even listen or answer rationally. She just freaked out at me and acted super insulted and kicked me out. I reached out to her husband and told him about her reaction and told him he should get a paternity test. And he called me an asshole and blocked me. Neither have spoken to me since. I've always thought they were dramatically overreacting and were probably hiding something because of their responses. But they're still married, and sometimes I feel bad about what happened. I just felt a lot of empathy for her husband because I would be devastated if I wasn't confident that I was the father of my future children. Was I an asshole for asking privately?
I think you're an asshole for saying it to the husband.
I'm also just going to point out that there's
they're
IVF.
triplets. There's triplets, and it's also there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
And just because, like,
I'm darker than my dad on some days.
I just don't.
Like, you're
absolutely the fucking asshole.
You're a fucking dick. But on top
So,
of
like,
that, there's
before that,
IVS, there's donors, there's sperm and egg donors. You don't know what they went through to get pregnant.
Before we read that, I was like, okay, there's a chance she could not be the asshole. You're the fucking asshole in that situation. Like, 1,000. I don't. Like, regardless of the fact that you waited to ask privately, because that was probably the nicest thing you could have done. But it's still the fact that you fucking asked. Like, the audacity.
Imagine if one of dad's friends went up to him when like I was born and goes, or like even when I like got older or something, are you sure she's yours? She's tall and all of your family's short. Like, genetics, my guy. There's 2 sides. There's 2 sides. So top comment is, dude, Genetics. One of his parents is likely has a darker skin tone, and that came through in the grandchild. Not uncommon, super normal. You are a flaming asshole for this. I cannot give a bigger, you're the asshole. And somebody goes, you're the asshole for contacting the husband. What the fuck? Are you new to life?
No, 1,000%. Because it's like you're kind of an asshole for like asking the wife, but like you're 1,000% an asshole for going to the husband and suggesting he gets a paternity test.
But on top of that, like, she asked like after they were born. And you're like, she freaked out. Yeah, I would freak out too. I would see you as a danger.
How do people not see that they're wrong in these situations? Like, what makes you think? What in your fucking backwards entitled ass mind makes you think that it's okay to ask someone, are you sure those triplets that you probably you could probably name the day that you impregnated your wife, but are you sure that those are yours?
But like on top of that, all of this shit, like I also, if they're triplets, two of them are the same color, one is not. I'm thinking IVF.
No, because there are situations where it's like the egg could have split, or they could have been 3 separate sacs, and
It
they
could
might
have
not,
been.
and they might
I mean,
not. It also just depends on like, yeah, 2 of them could have just taken from one side more than the other.
or even a think of like you had one that split into two.
And
So
then
it would have been
one
originally been
twins.
twins, but just
And then one of the twins split, the sac split into
and then created
but
identical twins instead of
it didn't say
fraternal.
that identical was actually super rare. So
Identical is super rare.
So it's probably more likely that it was 3 separate sacs and 2 of them just look more like one side.
It could have been a thing, honestly.
Because I've seen twins that were fraternal twins where they're mixed. One looks black and one looks white with red hair.
Yeah.
It's not that fucking hard.
Thing. It's really not that fucking hard. But
genetics.
I have a question. Did this person take biology in high school when you have to do the genetic like chart where you do the little genetic squares?
The squares.
And you do it
the Punnett squares.
Yeah.
I know in our state that you had to do it because you had to do it for the HSA for the state of Maryland.
Yep. And sure as hell did that shit. I also had to do it in college when I took genetics. That was a much deeper thing, though. We didn't really use the squares. We did a lot of other stuff with genetics. I got to breed flies.
That's gross. Flies are gross.
Flies are gross, but I got to breed them and see the different genetic ways that things can mutate. It was actually pretty cool.
Yeah. There's no way to, like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Fucking, it's not an asshole. You're a fucking bitch.
You're a cunt. You're a thunder cunt.
Taylor's your favorite word.
Thunder cunt. Thunder cunt. Does whatever a thunder cunt does.
Oh my God.
Can they see the reality? No, they can't. They're a thunder cunt. Look out. It's a thunder cunt. Okay, so edit. I get it. I'm an asshole. I want to make it clear. I didn't think the triplets had different fathers. I'm not an idiot. I thought it was possible, given the skin tone of the third triplet, that all three were fathered by a darker man. The first two are a bit lighter because my friend is very fair. That just makes you sound even more stupid. You sound dumber.
Yeah, the edit didn't help you.
No.
Just because one is darker. Okay, well, you said the math ain't mathing because you said the dad's mixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even being mixed, you can be, I mean, listen, TJ's mixed and looks black. I'm mixed, and during the winter I look white.
But it just doesn't make. It just means that, yeah, he still has. He's 50-50. He could still transfer over however much, and the kid just takes the more melanated genes.
It's not uncommon.
I don't. I hate stupid people. Is there more to that one? Or is that it? Okay.
We're gonna go into the
episode itself.
The episode itself. Hold on, let me write this down real quick. Well, that was rude. Okay, so, oh shit, I forgot to say this, so I'm going to say this real quick. It's the end of episode 17. Okay, see, I was about to say 15 because we were talking about 15 earlier. So, end of episode 17. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, Amazon Music, Citrix. I don't know what else we have. Spotify.
5-star reviews.
5-star. That's, yeah, helps us out. I don't know. Word vomit. Bye.